incredible Countess Elena De Bacci online with us, live from Dubai. And also, lucky enough, we have the chairman of the Alfie Best group of companies, Wildcrest Parks, Kyoto, Varun Motorhome Hire, East Thurrock Football Clubs, of course, Alfie Best Business, Alfie Best himself. We're going to be talking tonight about the incredible journey of the Countess, a bit about her background and what she does. And I can tell you, she is an international traveller. She is a lady of nobility. She is a very decent Christian lady, and also she's an incredible global connector. We'll be talking about the De Bacci family and the background, and also we'll be talking about entrepreneurship and how important entrepreneurs' role in getting the global markets, the global business place moving again by creating ideas, creating employment, and having the courage and strength to hang on through adversity. So in this broadcast tonight, I'm going to actually pass across to Alfie, and for Alfie to talk directly with the Countess. But first of all, Countess, I'll pass to Alfie, but welcome, Countess. Now, we've got this little Italian introduction. Now, me and Alfie are going to read this together. You ready, Alf? Cara Contessa, grazie per il tempo che ci ha dedicato questa sera a un viaggio incredibile da condividere con il nostro pubblico questa sera.
Wonderful.
Somebody's just had it put straight in front of him.
Over to you guys.
Considering, Countess, that I can't read right, I thought I did a great job, but there you go. I just want to say thank you very, very much. And if I can say to anybody out there, to the Countess, I had the pleasure of meeting her husband, who's absolute charming, unbelievable. We had a great laugh yesterday when I was fitting my suit, and it was too small, then it was too big, then it was just right. It was just like the Three Bears. But we had a great time. And today, thank you, Countess, for coming on. It's been, Bradley's told me all about you and obviously what I've seen. And you've had a tremendous journey yourself. And you're now talking to us from Dubai. I love Dubai. I think you definitely love Dubai. Tell us a little bit about yourself. Tell us your journey and tell us what your passions are. And because I think you're there with your daughter, is that correct?
Yes, she's with me here.
And does your daughter share your passion? So come on, we want to know everything about you.
Absolutely. Well, my family shares. Thank you, dear Bradley, for opportunity to talk about my family and all options which our times bring now. And thank you to introduce me to Alfie. I'm very much appreciated.
It's a pleasure.
Pleasure's mine.
Yeah, thank you.
Tell us about your family, Countess. You're from Italy, correct?
No, I'm Russian. I'm born in Russia, and my mom, she's a Russian nobility. But it was a long time after a revolution when nobility been declined, and we didn't do much about this. But now it's a new era, and I'm very friendly with the Russian Noble Assembly. And the director of cultural department of Russian Noble Assembly is my very good friend, Alexander Shefa. And anytime you will be in Moscow, we definitely will organize a dinner together with Russian nobilities.
I shall look forward to it. And the one place that I've never been is to Russia.
It is very, very special.
From what I've researched and what I've seen, it's somewhere that I definitely want to go. And the more and more that I see of Russia just lately, it's actually also the place to do business. And I think they're opening their doors more and more. Whereas I think Europe, America, we've tended to been shielded by the media with regard to Russia. But in actual fact, it is, I hate to say this, it's fake news. And you don't realize how much the media feed us about our neighbors when you think that we're closer to Russia journey-wise than what we are the United States. So you'd assume that our connections...
Absolutely. Yeah, United Kingdom is very friendly with Russia, by the way. And at the moment, only few countries where Russians can go without permissions. It's actually UK, Turkey, Tanzania, and Emirates.
So, and this is obviously because of COVID. Is that correct, Countess?
Yes. But imagine, so UK was really, they started already flight operations in July. So Moscow, London is easy to go, and other cities as well. So I would say relationship between Moscow and London at the moment are pretty good.
Well, we had the first time that I tended to look at Russia as a potential place to do business was when we had a number of employees that worked within our team that were from Moldova. Now, I know that Moldova is a state that has broke away from Russia and has become its own independent country. But I couldn't believe how, and I choose my words carefully, but their work ethic was second to none. We have got about 5 employees that are from Moldova, and I've got to say I'm so blown away by their work ethic, their intelligence and detail, or time into detail within the company. They've certainly helped Wildcrest grow in the way that it has over the last 6 years that they've been involved with our team. And I'm definitely now going to be making it more of a point, especially now, obviously, and I've made a contact with your husband and yourself, of one visit in Russia and looking at it as what we can do there, because every country needs people like us to make that gap smaller, to make the divide smaller from one country to the other, because there are so many people that become cocooned in their own environment. But tell me about your passions. Tell me about your passions.
It's my daughter coming at the moment. She'll be on screen in a minute.
Anya. Hello, Anya.
Bring another.
I thought that was your older sister.
So Anya handles all the charitable sides. Hello and good evening, Anya. How are you?
Yeah.
Anna,
Anna is very special modern lady. She's full of knowledge, experience, and she has incredible plans for future.
Good evening.
Well,
we're creating a little office here. A pleasure to join your conference. Unfortunately, I would not be able to stay with you for long, as I in between phone conferencing myself. But it's lovely to see you finally and meet you online, Alfie.
And the pleasure is ours. Just think, we've got a COVID-free party going on here. I'm popping the champagne in a minute, and I'm having 2 vodkas, a rum punch. That's all good. So, tell me what your passions are, Anja.
So my Anna, I actually myself, I'm. As I heard you were asking my mom about her passion and whether her family supports it. So I can tell you from my own perspective as a daughter, we have a very common vision in our family, and actually it's very rare, and it's a big value, as I believe in family a lot, and I actually think it's a most meaningful most meaningful gift you can have in life. Family that actually supports you, with which you share a common vision, and that's what we have in our family, as I think.
So one of the project of the Bacci is family protection, and Anna is leading this project because she shared this vision a lot with me. I started it in 2010, and then when she grew up, she understood how important to keep family and to develop status of family and real mod in the modern society.
Yeah, since since I can remember, I've just had a very strong love for family, and to be honest, I could not understand what's the reason for it was, but I just loved, anything related to family and children and big families, not just really big families, more than 5, 6 children. And later on, when I was growing up, I realized that maybe there is something I should discover about it, and then I started getting involved with educational projects. When I was in school, at university, it was privately tutoring languages and arts. And then I realized that maybe it is my passion to be to enlighten my own generation and the generations after me about the importance of this institute of family, which unfortunately has lost its value during the past years, and with the current birth rates and divorce rates, etc. I feel really the need that there's a gap that has to be closed. People need to have
that's only going to increase, isn't it?
Young people need this inspiration. They need to understand why it's important and how it can actually benefit them, in contrast to trying to avoid it and run away from it. So,
but I also think, and I understand about family because I come from a gypsy background where family is everything, and I'm an only child, which is very, very, very unusual.
Really.
Yes, very unusual. From a gypsy background, normally they have 5, 6, 7, 10 children.
Yes.
So what happened was when
same with the old Russians as well. Old Russians, they also had the multiplying families.
they had many children.
Let's say before Second War, usually it was a minimum 6. Yeah.
There are a lot of gypsies had big families. And what I would say is this, that slowly, bit by bit, family has not become important. But the thing is with family, and I congratulate you, by the way, on your daughter. She's obviously very well grounded and knows what she wants to do in life. And I say that very openly and honestly. But what's even more rewarding for the pair of you is that you have each other to rely on. Because the one thing that I can say to you, a mother and daughter bond is special, but what can make it even more special if you have a clear goal together. And if that's in business, you have the youth of your daughter to drive forward and the knowledge of a mother to help guide, because experience can make such a difference, whether it's in family, whether it's in business, on giving advice when you're working together. And you're going to have your arguments because every family does. But as long as you never make them personal, like being an only child, I have to have an argument in the mirror. So I stand in front of the mirror and I argue with myself.
Yeah.
I'm only kidding. I'm only joking. So let me ask you this. Your passion, I believe, is branding. Is that correct?
Yes, I love it. I was doing it all my life.
Well, listen, I can't say that my passion is branding because it's not. My passion is property. I believe that I'm very good at it, and it's what I drive and strive for. Maybe it's because I come from a nomadic background of where we weren't purveyors or owners of property. You know, we lived in caravans and horse-drawn wagons. So we weren't particularly perceived as people that own property. Whereas now, as I am the largest landlord in the UK, and we will continue to grow that. But I have a burning desire to own property, and it's one of the things that has helped me drive forward by understanding my own passion, but not just by understanding my passion, by harnessing it. And what I mean by that is it's very easy when we start out on our journey that you become sidetracked and you start looking at other ventures and other things that you'd like to do. And people start giving you other ideas about this is a good thing you should be doing. And you start to look at those things. But the most important thing for me with my son, when I'm trying to put him on his journey, and he's running his own businesses. He currently owns 2 retirement mobile home parks, and he also runs a watch company. And we have our arguments, how we see things differently. But the beauty of it is, I would say he actually grounds me. He's the one that calms me, where I'm very driven and running. He is a little bit more grounded, as intelligent, to the point that he's used to the surroundings that we're currently in. I'm not. I'm an alien to the situation that I find myself in now, because, how do I put this? He was born into it. I worked my way to it. So to him, it's natural. To me, I still feel that I'm just visiting, if you understand what I mean by that. You know, like there are, a friend of mine said to me the other day, he said, it's amazing some of the events that we get to attend and we get invited to. And I said, what happened? He said, you've earned the right to the invitation. And I get that. I get that. My son, he expects the invitation. Does that make sense?
Yes.
So, like, but for me, when I have a conversation with him, I'd say I'm fairly close to my son Alfie, and we discuss a lot of things from business. Mainly, it's always business because that's the only conversation that I know. And I think when I see you and your daughter together, and I see that she's confident enough to really just not have any airs and graces about just coming on here and just because we don't know what we're going to talk about, but also that she's with you, her mother, and I can see that she still takes your advice and then comes up with her own reasoning of, and I should imagine that's happening with you all the time, no?
Yes, she's taking my advices. I have to admit, yes.
Good.
Most of it.
No.
You know, gentlemen, what I tend to do. I learned this when I was. My grandmother actually taught me doing this. So when my mother tells something, I listen to her very carefully, and then I take the advice, and then I take the most wisdom from it, and then I create it in my own way. But technically speaking, yes, I follow it.
Can I
said to her, if you will follow my advices, for you it will be a shorter distance to reach your goals.
Yeah, and I don't like wasting time, so I just prefer to follow her.
Do you know something? It's very true. Follow my advice, and it'll be a shorter distance to success. Yeah. The only problem is this. I tend to find all of us, sometimes we have to learn by experience, but it's still very good to remember we were told, don't do this, don't do that. And I'll, for what this is worth, and I feel this is the best advice that I've ever given to my son, And I would think your mum would give you the same advice. It's not the mistakes you make, because you will learn from those, and they're a college degree in life. But what your mum will be able to do, which will help you massively, and this is what I would suggest you really do take her intuition on, is by reading people and understanding whether they're good people or bad people. And what I mean by that is if they're people that you want around you, because you can only pick that up by life's experiences. And I've had some very good people, but I've also had some bad people. People that were not necessarily bad people, but they were bad people for me, because their life journey was so different to where I wanted to go. Does that make sense?
Yes. What do you think about if you go to politics?
Politics.
Do you? Yes. Maybe.
Well, I have a very, very dear friend who's the Prime Minister of Barbados, Mia Mottley. And when I see her, obviously that's one of the discussions. That's because she's a politician. And what I would say to you,
sorry. Alfie, just a second.
Excuse me, gentlemen. I have to say I have to go now. But it was a pleasure to speak to you and to meet you online and to join your wonderful broadcasting. Thank you very much for inviting me. And I really do hope for the more prosperity.
She didn't expect tonight that she will be speaking
together with you and my mother.
She's very good speaker. So next time when Bradley will have a program for online conference, Anna would like to be speaker.
Absolutely.
Yes,
Absolutely.
we would love that.
We would
very much.
Ladies and gentlemen, Anna De Bacci, who's the daughter of the incredible Countess Elena De Bacci. Anna, thank you for taking time to speak with Alfie and myself. Wishing you every success on your journey. Incredible to watch. Keep moving forward, but listen to Mum.
Anna, thank you.
Thank you. I will. Thank you. Thank you. Good night.
Bye.
Sorry, Alfie, to interrupt you. You started to talk interesting subject.
What I would say, she's a very good friend of mine. And I would say I've learned a lot from her. Very intelligent woman. She's going to do great things for that country. I say this from a personal point of view, that I've sat there, listened, heard what she said, but she doesn't just talk. She's doing it. And across the world, it is at this moment in time, it's the women prime ministers that are actually doing a better job with COVID than most of the other prime ministers or presidents across the world. And I've noticed this, like from Australia to Barbados, you know, it's actually the women prime ministers that seem to have a better handle on this than the men. Now, listen, not that I'm here for supporting women's lib, but I'm just saying how I genuinely see it. They're doing a better job. Since Mia Mottley took over the Prime Minister of Barbados, she has absolutely put her finger on the pulse, and the country has started to thrive again. Because when she took over, it was within months close to being downgraded in the GDP, or actually she stopped that. So she's done a phenomenal job, and I think there's going to be some great stuff. And Barbados, as a country to invest in, I'm investing in there very heavily. We're in the process of buying another hotel, and we have a lot of property there. Just bought a restaurant on the island, or the freehold of the site, and there's a lot more to come as well. We've several offers in for property there, because I see it as a country where the politicians realise that they need to create business, whereas in the UK at this moment in time, unfortunately, they're killing businesses. They're killing them. They've got to get a handle on what they're doing.
Mm.
And
But
that's
you were still thinking about to be more trendy, like President Donald Trump, as a big like a big landlord.
I don't think that I am cut out for politics at all. What I think you have to, go gate to your strengths. And my strengths are, business and even more so property related. And look, everybody wants to talk about the rain, and very few people want to talk about the sunshine.
yeah.
For me, I only want to talk about the sunshine. I only want to talk about the sunshine because I know there's always going to be a little bit of rain. You got to have the good to have the bad, and you've got to have the bad to have the good, and that just happens in business. Here in the UK, and I'm not sure about Russia, but they haven't managed to grasp that politics needs to be hand in hand with business, and if it's not, eventually it will come tumbling down, because it is business that keeps every economy thriving, not just surviving. How about yourself? What's your view?
I agree. I just think that lands always, as the Bible said, land been given to people to develop it. So you're very on very biblical way, and I suppose that as much more people developing our beautiful planet, as much more blessing it will receive. So I'm a daughter of director of building construction, so I know what is a blessing. It's really blessed.
Sorry, so your family is from the construction industry as such. That's their forte. Is that correct?
No, my father, he's educated and professional building constructor, but my mom is from a family of scientists, medical scientists, and actually microbiologists and epidemiologists.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
No, look,
Me,
Bill,
me and Alfie are very similar in that respect. We're, the biochemists, right? Alfie's trying to come up with a new cure for the vaccine. We've been working away on our little chemistry here.
let me ask you another question. On
Yeah.
What's your genuine view on COVID? What's your view? Do you think this is a killer virus? Do you think it's man-made? Do you think this is engineered? What's your view? Give me your view.
Again, it all depends of media truth or not. I suppose if it was definitely like they saying changed in genome engine, if it was involved gene engineering. Then of course it's very violent, because immunity especially for old people, it's very difficult to support if strong immunity killers in this virus, of course. But mostly I think it's media war. So that's why actually me and my friend Ansif Ashraf from India, as you know, he's here in the Emirates with me in Dubai. We are now collaborating with big media source. He told you, yes.
Yeah.
World Herald, which will be independent, and such what is happening now, like every media source is repeating each other and making people scary when actually not much scare, because the death number is very, very slow if to compare with all history of humanity.
My view is that I personally believe that this is a man-made virus. I just, for the life of me, don't believe that this is a bat that just happened to meet a pig, and all of a sudden we ended up with this type of virus. I personally think that we need to develop our own immune systems. Whereas at the moment, by wearing masks, by wearing gloves, by constantly sanitizing, our body is becoming weaker. Our immune system is becoming weaker, because we're no longer picking up small germs off the table, off of the counters. So by sanitizing so much of what we're doing and wearing masks, I actually think our systems are becoming less tolerant, as opposed
You're
to
right.
developing.
I completely agree with you. Yes, that's right. Of
But,
course, immunity is like in sport; it has to be trained. And most of the time, as we see, for example, in small towns and villages, where children just playing between the plants and the garden, and they never actually ill. If it happened the same in big cities, children ill. So immunity has to be trained.
Listen, you're absolutely right. And when you just said about children playing out, I remember as a child, we never went to the hospital. We never really got any type of infections, and we were outside,
Exactly.
in a very, very poor environment. But, our immune systems were capable of coping and dealing with most of the viruses that were out there naturally. And I don't think that this COVID is going to go away. I really don't. I just think we need to learn just to live with it, just like we do with the common cold or the flu. That's my view.
Yes, you're right. You're right. I absolutely agree with you. You are living sample from the family which wasn't sanitized or didn't know anything about this. So your nation, your gypsy nation, is actually a sample. They all living longer and nothing happened with them. I never hear that any gypsy died from virus.
That's a great point, right?
That's because we're great at telling fortunes.
Countess, you're on the front cover of Best Business magazine on our launch edition, and of course, thank you.
Very honored. Thank you very much.
An incredible, front cover shot, and we've got a sentence on the front cover that entrepreneurs can shape and change the world as we move forward, and in many cases, of course, history has shown us they have, by having the courage and the strength to be able to. Not only from a startup point of view, to make their dreams a reality, to start businesses, to be innovative, to create jobs, but existing business owners that are entrepreneurs are looking to diversify investments. So what's your thought on entrepreneurship and how it could shape the world, get the world back on its feet? Because if we don't have entrepreneurs, we're going to fall back. And if we do, it should help our GDP across the world to grow. What's your view on that? Because obviously you're sitting in front of an entrepreneur that is non-stop, that is trying, that is looking for opportunity to grow.
I was since my 22, I was in different businesses. I was organizing it myself. I loved it because in Russia at that time was many opportunities, and I had several businesses till my 27th. And one of them was recruitment, and I had the second big after government company, second bigger in Moscow, for giving jobs to people. And it was really my passion, because at that moment in my country was struggling about a very big lack of jobs. And for me, it was just a pleasure when people can really feed their families and feel good and increase their qualification. And actually, I'm very proud of it. I was like a champion of this. And newspapers are about this. It's incredible.
Can I ask a question for yourself? You said that obviously one of the businesses that you were passionate about was recruitment when you were in Russia. Was there a turning point when you were in Russia, working with your business, where the country got behind businesses, or was Russia always a country that was supporting businesses? Was there a turning point? Like for here in the UK, we've had several turning points with different prime ministers, like Margaret Thatcher, lover or hater, was a big advocate of SMEs, small to medium-sized businesses. Was there a turning point in Russia that you felt that the country really got behind small businesses to medium-sized businesses?
It's actually a good question, because Russia is actually pro-business country. So many people, they have small businesses, middle businesses, especially large businesses, as you know. Everywhere in the world, there are successful Russian people with business. You hardly will find any workers on Russian nationality outside of country. So yes, Russia, that people very intelligent, and they able to organize, manage, and direct businesses. They're very goal achievers.
What I would say, and this is really a nonsense question, but it's an observation more than anything. Obviously, I've been to Dubai quite a lot, and when I normally go to Dubai, I normally stage in the Burj Al Arab, and I always meet a Russian family that are there, and I cannot say that I've ever met any Russian family with their wives, their daughters, or whatever, that aren't stunningly beautiful, and that's not the perception that I had before I actually started meeting Russian families or that. But I am. Please don't take this the wrong way, but the perception that I was given was very hardworking women, actually like my mum, that were like hard women, and whereas the ones that I met were like supermodels, like yourself, very good looking, very beautiful, not what I expected at all.
Yeah, it's true. The Russian ladies, they are very powerful. They're very strengthful.
Well, I can only say, but it wasn't what I was expecting when I met them, and every time I go to Dubai, there is always a lot of Russians that stay in the Burj when I've been there, and I always find them very, very good company. I think the last time I was there, I didn't come out of the bar with one particular some company that I was with. I didn't come out of the bar for 2 days. But they can drink vodka like you've never seen, and I'm not a big drinker, but I had a good time.
Maybe not. I'm completely sober person. Never been drinking.
So, how long are you in Dubai for? Tell us.
Yes, I suppose we just here until lockdown will finish in Europe, then we'll be back, because I have many plans there in Monaco, and then later in London. At the moment, we're not going to London because my husband, he's flying here next week.
Fantastic. Well, I saw your husband last night. He said that he misses you massively, but I'm sure that you already know that, and he's looking forward to seeing you.
Thank God he told you, because he never tells me.
But listen,
next time I will ask you what he does feel about
trust me, he didn't stop talking about you. That's absolutely true. Honestly, told me, didn't stop talking about you. So now, I felt that I knew you so much more after I'd met your husband, because for 2 hours, all he did was speak about you.
Oh, really? Hardly believe.
And Anna as well.
Yeah,
he's from a very modest family, and his family, especially his father was a leading engineer of European Committee. I think he told you, yes?
Yes.
On nuclear power, and he was an advisor of presidents of leading country in that it was 80s. Ronald Reagan and Gorbachev. And at that moment, he was actually already predicted that a catastrophe which happened in Chernobyl, and he resigned before, because he actually gave a strong recommendation to Gorbachev how to protect country from nuclear catastrophe. He already calculated that it can happen based on how nuclear power wasn't being managed well. And he resigned 6 years before it's happened.
But he actually
He didn't want to be obliged.
Wow. I know that he said that he was involved in banking as well at some point. So, like,
no. You know who? The founder of world financing and banking system, Giovanni De Bacci. It's sending us to 13th century. He was a founder, so he's a descendant of my husband's family.
Wow.
Yeah.
This is, am I right? This actually goes back to the Medici families, right? And the Medici banking.
Yeah, Medici. Yeah, yeah, and actually the continuation of this incredibly story, almost like a fairy tale, that his nickname was Medici, because Medici means on Italian like he's from medical family. So Medici means his family was doctors.
Yes.
And it wasn't braces. So it was Giovanni De Bacci embraces Medici. But later on, because banking system and financial system started to be well organized, because he described it well, then all families started to call Medici. So another branch started to call already not nickname, but they saw name Medici, and they became powerful leaders of all Florence, which was a republic at the time in 15th century.
Wow.
Based on banking system.
Oh, thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, tonight we've been joined by the incredible Countess Elena Felici De Bacci. She's coming live from Dubai this evening. We want to thank you both for coming on now. I know we're going to have more broadcasts with you in the future, but I'm conscious of time. Alfie, as Dave, doesn't stop, as you know, and I've already got him behind 15 minutes for another meeting. It's been incredible sharing some time. We're looking forward on Saturday morning for the magazine going live with you on the front cover. And we want to thank you as well for making some introductions to some people to open some doors for us and for meeting your husband. But from us here at Alfie Best Business, and of course, Alfie Best himself. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the incredible Countess De Bacci. Please do connect with her on Facebook. You will find the details in the links below. And the best place for us to connect with you on Facebook is on your Facebook page, Countess, isn't it? Elena Felici De Bacci on Facebook. Is that correct?
Yes, thank you very much.
Yes, great stuff. Well, ladies and gentlemen, we hope you enjoyed the interview tonight. We've also rolled out the big guns as well. Any final word from yourself before we close the broadcast?
Countess, I just want to say thank you very, very much for your time. It's a privilege having you on the cover of our magazine. And
dear Alfie and dear Brad, it's very, very pleasure.
I look forward to seeing you, and I'll speak to you later. Have a wonderful time. Hopefully, I'll be out there in Dubai. See you later.
Oh, please welcome both of you.
Thank you very much indeed, Countess. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye-bye.